Mums and dads, welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast, all you breastfeeding mothers.
Welcome back to Breastfeeding Tips with Gabe. What do you got for us today?
I'm the world-renowned breastfeeder. This is true. My word of advice, my word of advice for all breastfeeding mothers out there is don't breastfeed your children until they're 16. Maybe don't do that.
Don't start until they're 16, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Because that's when, it's kind of like a anime protagonist moment. They live all their lives kind of weak and feeble, but once they get that first hit of breastfeeding, their real powers awaken.
Oh, God.
Their brittle bones strengthen.
I mean, what better, more ripe time than the teenage years to start breastfeeding, right?
Oh, they're the golden years, man, where the brain shoots up in neurological development.
The brain is fully developing. You're trying to figure out yourself as a person. So why not get a little milky to build up your confidence?
A little bit of that mother's milky.
Right from the teat.
That story was awful. I shouldn't have exposed you to that. I'm sorry. I deeply apologize.
I don't know. Bro, I'm losing it right now. I feel like this is not a good way to start off.
I mean, it's too late. We started it off. It's a done deal.
Can you at least explain?
Well, okay. I might link this into the description. Might not help. I don't even have to. You can literally just search it if you want to. But I suggest you don't. I think people can live the rest of their lives without having to hear this story. There's this story about this one guy who was breastfed until he was 16, and it's implied that even much later into his life he was probably still breastfed. And it's legitimately one of the most soul-crushing stories I've ever heard in my entire life. And listen, man, I've watched and heard some really depressing shit, but listening to that the first time, it was like the first time I ever contemplated whether I wanted to keep living or not, having known this cursed knowledge. Having known that cursed knowledge.
We just played a league game, and I feel more defeated after hearing that story than after the league game, dude.
Dude, after that league game we played, where we got horribly stomped and we were getting shit on by the enemy team in all chat.
Yeah, that felt better than listening to a guy talking about how he was breastfed till he's 16.
I mean,
bro, the part that really got me is when he said his mom, they played hide and seek together. His mom would hide, and if he found her, then
he would get breastfed as a reward. The part that kills me every time I don't get used to hearing it, is when he goes, I mean, it tastes amazing. It starts a little watery at first, but after a few seconds, it gets really rich and creamy. Yum!
Ah! Ah! Oh, that hurts, man.
It's just...
Why do you hurt me so, Gabe?
That's my punishment from now on. Whenever anyone gets out of line, I'm just going to say
Why didn't you even send me that, by the way? That's the first question.
Well, okay, you were talking about the new Cardi B song. And the music videos with all the titties, and you said your joke, which I'm gonna let you say yourself. What was
what are you talking
said to
about?
me? It had to do with breastfeeding.
What? We were watching Cardi B's video, and if you guys haven't seen it yet, little mature warning, but
Ben Shapiro didn't like it, and if Ben Shapiro
Cardi
didn't
B
like it,
is giving us some full frontal assault in the video.
Some big titty terrorism, I would say.
She's fully exposed herself to the world, basically.
It's pretty
awesome at this point.
I mean, in my opinion, very, very empowering. But you said a little comment that led me to share that video because it had to do with breastfeeding. How do you not remember?
I don't know why you're making such a big deal out of it, though.
Because it was the funniest thing I ever heard.
I mean...
Tell the audience what you said.
Okay, I'm just saying, you gotta watch the video first. If you haven't seen WAP with Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, go watch it right now. Come back to the podcast so you can hear me tell you about how there's this one scene in the video where, I mean, let's just say if Cardi B was shooting chocolate milk out of those tickle bitties, I wouldn't mind drinking a cup of that.
And you're over here giving this 16-year-old boy shit while you're just proudly proclaiming at the highest tops of Mount Olympus.
I said chocolate milk.
I declare that if Cardieth be...
Chocolate milk is not the same as breastfeeding milk, okay? I didn't say I would suck it from her teeth. I never said I would suck it from her teeth.
Yeah, you did.
I said if she produced chocolate milk, I would consume Cardi B's chocolatey
titty milk. That's what you said. You said
Cardi B chocolate milk coming to 7-Eleven near you.
You proclaim proudly from the mountaintops. You said, "I doth declare that if Cardi B, queen of titty, doth produce chocolate milk from her milky bosoms, I would consume this rich nectar until my dying day." You said this.
I mean, to be honest though, like, even if the milk was coming out of her ass, I'd probably still drink it.
That was the other thing you said. I don't,
Are you kink shaming me?
No,
What's the problem here?
There's no judgment on Quip Save except all the time, but not today. It's fine. I accept your weird little indulgences, man. I've got my own things. I've got my own little quirks and kinks about me.
I'm sorry, the man who's giving $25 a month to Patreon just so you can get drawings of 3-footed women. I mean, 3-legged. 3 feet would be kind of weird.
Wait,
just
what?
The foot, like.
Listen, wait. What is this? I'm lost at this point in time. I'm pretty sure
I'm trying to say your kink ain't no weirder than mine.
I'm pretty sure I've been ordering strictly 4-legged women commissions out of this. This is the first I've heard about 3-legged women. I feel like this is slanderous. I could sue you for this,
all right. You'll be hearing from my lawyer then,
You'll be hearing from my attorney. My 4-legged attorney.
You'll be hearing from Ben Shapiro telling you about
how he can't get his wife's pussy wet. That was great. Oh, no. No disrespect to his wife, but it's just
this all links together, by the way. I know you guys are probably very confused.
It's like 7 shades of Kevin Bacon, 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but it all starts at Cardi B, chocolate milk titties, and ends in Ben Shapiro.
I've heard of the 7 degree thing. What does it have to do with Kevin Bacon?
Because that's the game. It's 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. I've only ever heard of the 7 degrees theory or whatever, where like you and another person, like there's only 5 connections separating you from anyone else in the world, right?
I don't know. For me, it was always 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, and you just play a game and like you start at a concept and you try the best to connect it to Kevin Bacon.
That's what I mean. There's like a theory or something that for example, you and Jackie Chan, like there's less than 5 people in between you and him.
Okay, then
but
go ahead
it could be something so stupid as like, I guess the same thing for Kevin Bacon. Whatever. I just never heard of the Kevin Bacon one. All right.
Try it. What connects me to Jackie Chan was wise one.
Okay, so we were talking about Ben Shapiro, right? Ben Shapiro's wife's pussy's very dry.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
The dry desert is a level in Super Mario, which was created by Shigeru Miyamoto, who actually trained under the tutelage as the same teacher as Jackie Chan.
Okay, I don't know how to verify that, so I'm just going to I'm going to take it as true. I don't have the time to verify
It's definitely not true.
I mean, you never know. It might be some kind of secret piece of information that's never been made public. Shigeru Miyamoto trained under the same martial arts teachers as Jackie Chan. They're actually alumni. Yeah,
dude. How do you think he learned all those moves for like Zelda?
That's why we're gonna get Jackie Chan in Smash next in this Chun-Li outfit from that one Street Fighter commercial.
Oh gosh,
that'd be pretty great. I'd like that. I love Jackie Chan. I want to see him in more things.
Yeah,
but he's getting.
I'm kind of sad. Like I feel that. I don't know. Maybe it's just because he's old now. He doesn't really care. He just cashed out. Not really cashed out. He's just enjoying it at this point.
He has like his
That's
own,
what I mean.
Like, stuntman
he's so loaded that he probably doesn't give a crap anymore. But I feel like the movies he's been in recently all suck ass.
Well, the last one I ever saw him in was that one with Pierce Brosnan, which was pretty okay. I forgot what it was called, but it was about like there was a terrorist attack that his daughter died in. and he was trying to get information on who did it from this one politician played by Pierce Brosnan. But, like, he never gets it because it turns out that Pierce Brosnan is in collusion with all that shit.
I don't even know who Pierce?
Pierce Brosnan, he's the guy, he was James Bond once. He's in Mrs. Doubtfire. He was the handsome guy that cucked Robin Williams in Mrs. Doubtfire.
No idea.
He was 007 at one point. He's really handsome. I think he's like Scottish or something. Something about that.
Wait, I'm going to look at it. Jackie Chan, Pierce
Brosnan.
What? Pierce Brosnan movies. It was The Foreigner, 2017.
I thought that one was pretty good. It's pretty intense.
Bro, Jackie Chan looks old. I mean, he's almost 70,
They made him look extra old
still.
in that movie, though. They made him look extra old.
Oh,
in
okay.
That movie.
That makes sense. I was about to say, dude, damn, this man, like, usually he looks, like, way younger than he is, but in this movie, he actually looks his age.
Yeah. Dude, they fucked him up for that movie. But I thought that movie was pretty good. Like, it's not incredible, but I thought it was pretty intense, pretty suspenseful. Huh. And it has a pretty sad story behind it. But I liked it, but I haven't heard of him being in anything else after that.
Maybe I'm just thinking of, because, like, he's been in a bunch of comedy movies recently, and all of those, I mean, they're, like, kid comedies, so they're not exactly the most high-profile production or whatever, so I guess, I don't know. I just thought that maybe Jackie Chan just doesn't really care anymore. He's just, you know what, yeah, I'll be in this. This sounds fun. I'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it is for a lot of older, very accomplished actors. Like, I remember when I heard that Anthony Hopkins was in one of the Transformers movies, I'm just like, okay, this guy's just doing whatever he wants now. Especially his role in the movie, it's so fucking funny. He's like this old dude with a historied past, but he behaves like such a belligerent child, and it's so funny. There's one scene where, like, his robot Transformer butler is driving him around in a high-speed chase, and then he just randomly flips someone off out of the window.
Oh my god.
And he's just like, dude, love these high-speed chases. And he's like, fuck you, and he flips someone off. It's so fucking weird.
Thor's Odin, right? Thor's dad?
Yeah, Thor's dad. I fucking love Anthony Hopkins,
most recent thing I saw him in, like, he's a really good actor, but, like, I saw him most recently in Westworld, and he killed it in that show, man. He's, like, the best character.
Westworld. Have you ever seen Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one. That's the Anthony Hopkins film, man, for me. Fucking love that movie, and he's so creepy in it. Fucking love it. I love it! So good. But I feel like a lot of older accomplished actors are that way. Jackie Chan, Anthony Hopkins, like Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, all of those actors especially just reach a state where they're just untouchable. Like, if they say they want to be in a movie, they're gonna put them in the movie. Like, they have that much leverage.
Cardi B will ever get to that point?
No. Just straight up.
Not even for her chocolate milk, dude?
No,
come on.
No, I don't think her chocolate milk is that rich of a product to where it holds that much leverage. I'm sorry.
Have you ever thought of acting yourself?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a big enough ego for it, I'd say.
I was about to say, I feel like watching you in those few skits that we did while you were here, like, I could feel the passion.
The passion for acting and for wanting to be in front of, force everyone to watch me in a big screen. Yeah, no, the passion.
Mainly that, I think. Mainly the second part.
Yeah, I just want to force people to see me. I don't know, dude. I definitely have had my daydreams of what it would be like to be an actor, but I feel like the acting world is so cutthroat, much like any other, like, industry that has to do with quote unquote talent or just, like, media, where it's just like you could be really, really good at what you do and you'll still never have that big break. Mm-hmm. And even if you do have that big break, nothing ever assures you that it'll stay that way. Because, I mean, you can see this a lot with, like, old 90s actors, too, who used to be huge in the 90s. Like, huge! Like, they were in everything. And nowadays, they're washed out, or they're just no disrespect by washed out. It's just the only word I could think of. But they're, like, in nothing nowadays. Like...
Yeah, but you could say that about Jackie Chan, but the man's still loaded. He just, like...
But yeah, but I feel those are the exceptions where I tell you where some people get so big for so long that they become a namesake. They become a brand themselves. Jackie Chan
Okay, so
is
what's
a
the
brand.
difference between like Jackie Chan and Jim Carrey?
I think for me, a better comparison, because it's kind of like in the same vein, would be someone like Jackie Chan versus Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh yeah, true, because they're both like action stars.
Yeah, they're
though,
both like action martial artist stars, you know, where it's just like Jackie Chan got so big, so consistent, and he had such a distinct brand that he became a brand in of himself. Also because he was a savvy businessman. He has like his own like he's huge in China, and he has his own like stuntman like company where like he trains stunt people.
I thought you were gonna say like he has his own monument. He probably does, to be
Maybe
honest.
somewhere, who knows. But then there's people like Jean-Claude Van Damme who were really big in the 90s, but never, you know, whatever circumstances may be, never established himself as heavy as a brand as someone like Jackie Chan, so they never really endured. I mean, the last thing I could ever remember Jean-Claude Van Damme being in was in that one Expendables film, and it was just because, well...
I know the name, but I can't really picture him. Like, I'm picturing in my head Sylvester Stallone right now.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is from, what was this one called? It's like Death Sport or something like that? Bloodsport?
I don't know.
He's also in the Street Fighter movie, the really famous, like, B-movie Street Fighter movie where he played Guile.
Oh, yeah.
Even though he has like this heavy accent, which I still don't know where he's from. And then
I don't know either. Let me see.
And then another comparison you can make is like Jason Segal. Like he was really big in the 90s, but then he turned into an absolute nutcase, and now people only remember him for being a super, like a 90s superstar who became washed out because he had a massive ego and he's a fucking idiot.
Okay, but tell me this. Is Jim Carrey washed out or not?
No, like he really isn't. Like there was a time where he was like kind of like fizzling out because he focused a lot. He got kind of weird, and then he focused a lot on like these really depressing like drama films and stopped doing comedy for a while. But now he's like making a comeback. He's like making this 90s Jim Carrey comeback, especially with like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Jesus, I didn't know you were that much of a Sonic fucking shill, dude.
I mean, dude, I'm a shill for Sonic's quills, you know? It's just how it is. But, you know, it's kind of just like Jim Carrey is kind of like that same thing. He'll always be Jim Carrey because he was around for so long and he was so popular for so long that it's kind of just like he just shows up and people are just like, sure, Jim Carrey, you could be in my movie, of course. I feel like that has happened the same thing with like Keanu Reeves, where like recently it was revealed that Kevin Feige has actually considered Keanu Reeves for almost every single MCU movie ever. And now Keanu Reeves is saying that he wants to play Ghost Rider and he'll be in the MCU if they let him play Ghost Rider. Do you think they're going to say no to Keanu Reeves?
Nah, dude. Keanu Reeves has kind of ascended recently, thanks to the power of memes.
And the power of John Wick, too. John Wick was so fucking good.
That's true. Like, he was always famous for The Matrix, but I don't think it was until John Wick that at least, like, modern and younger people really, like, knew about him.
Yeah, because he kind of took a break from acting for a while. He wasn't in as many things. And the things he was in were pretty, like, art housey or obscure.
Isn't he in Cyberpunk also? Or he's gonna be in it?
Johnny Silverhand.
Oh, dude, that's sick. I can't wait.
That's where the "you're breathtaking" thing comes from, when he was in E3. That shit was so fucking wild, dude, when it happened. I was watching it live, and I saw him come off stage. At that point in time, I was a huge simp for Reeves. Ever since I watched, like, John Wick, I was crazy, madly infatuated and in love with Keanu Reeves. And I still am. But, like, when I saw him walk off stage, I literally, like, my fucking dick fell off. Like, that's how euphoric the experience was, dude.
I remember watching that, and honestly, I felt like it wasn't cringe, but it did feel kind of awkward, but, like, he owns the awkwardness.
Yeah, he does.
If that makes sense.
That's the thing. Like, he's so endearing, where even when he's awkward, you're just like, I love this man.
I think that's what makes him so popular, because he's, like... He's as relatable as a celebrity can get, basically, or at least the way like he comes off on.
And then when you hear like all the stories of like his interactions with fans and just his day to day, you're just like, this is just a normal
like
person.
the way that he views celebrity culture
in
general.
It feels like he's just some normal guy who keeps wandering onto movie sets and people are just like, yeah, sure, get in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. It's crazy. But, you know, but that's what I mean with like the whole acting world, man. It's just like...
who would be washed up then in your eyes?
I mean, Jason Segel is definitely washed up.
Who the heck is... I feel like, dude, all these names like sound so familiar.
These are all 90s like people.
Oh, this dude.
Yeah.
He's freaking forgetting Sarah Marshall.
No, that's Jason Segel. Sorry. I mean Steven Seagal. Have I been saying Jason Segel all this time?
Yeah, because I knew Jason Segel. I'm I know this guy. He's a comedian, but...
Yeah, Jason Segel hasn't been in a lot of things recently, but he's like a producer now and he does a bunch of stuff. But Steven Seagal...
Oh my god, dude, this guy. Wait, JonTron just did a video about this guy.
Yeah, he's a fucking weirdo.
he's like Putin's like lapdog or something.
Yeah, dude's a freak. Like if you look at like his backstory, and he's an egomaniac, dude. He's crazy.
Holy shit!
It's freaking wild, the things that the story of him. But
what was he known for?
He was like a big 90s action star. He was like in a lot of the same vein kind of movies as, you know, Arnold and Jean-Claude Van Damme and Jackie Chan, you know.
Yeah, there was like an era where a lot of like...
Yeah, the 90s was
more
like the
action buff dudes got popular.
Yeah.
Which I guess now is kind of like... Or not anymore, but like in the 2010s was the renaissance of that. We had like The Rock rising.
Yeah. Oh, we had... what was this guy again? Liam Neeson. He was like in almost everything. I don't know what he's been up to recently.
Dude, The Rock, I feel like he literally, he is as big as Jackie Chan, if not even bigger, but he did it like in half the age.
Yeah, he's another one. He
like if you're doing an action movie, your dream is to just get The Rock, but like I'm sure he's so expensive though.
Oh yeah, he was like the number one paid actor for a while, and then it was like Robert Downey Jr. and then
it wasn't Star-Lord up there for a little bit?
I think so. I think Chris Pratt was up there for a while.
I feel like Chris Pratt, he tried. Like, he wanted to be like The Rock, but I don't think his personality is not quite it. I don't know. Maybe he is goofy. Like, they're both goofy people, but...
he was trying to be more like a modern age, like a 2010s era Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I can see that actually.
Like Harrison
snarky,
Ford when he was
witty.
younger with like his Indiana Jones and all that.
I don't know. I always saw Harrison Ford as more like witty, I guess, whereas Chris Pratt is more goofy to me.
Yeah, that's true. That is true though.
Like they both have, I get what you're saying. They both have like that kind of charismatic
that rogue
anti-hero type
of thing.
Yeah.
Except like Harrison Ford was more kind of like the dashing, cynical rogue, while yeah, you're right. Chris Pratt is more like the goofy rogue, especially with the whole Star-Lord thing.
He was like getting super buff for a while, but I don't remember now. I feel like I remember reading like he stopped the weight training or whatever, but
I think he does it more in moderation now. But he's been getting into some stuff recently. I won't get into too much because it has to do with like the Christian community and like a church that he backs that has like some controversy behind it, but. He's been getting into some controversial stuff recently that has kind of like brought him down a few pegs in popularity.
Damn, dude, he was my favorite ever since Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I really liked him, but even some of the stuff that has gone on around him made me like go a little bit like, hey, I still dig you, but you got to chill out for a bit.
Yeah, I guess I don't know exactly what it is, but I feel like if it's like with religion, then
that's a slippery slope.
Yeah, but as far as controversies go, that's one of the ones that's like I feel like easier to... It depends on what they're doing, of course, because some people use religion to do really messed up things, but other times you think maybe they've just gone a little bit too off the deep end or whatever. Like they're doing it for a good cause, but they don't realize like
the people they're hurting on the way. Yeah, but another one who's washed up, definitely Jean-Claude Van Damme. Who else? There was a lot, and less like martial artists too. There was like, you know, like I feel like even like horror movie and drama actors. Like I remember one I could think of right now for some reason is popping into my head. People like Jennifer Love Hewitt. She was like the big like horror movie scream queen of the 90s, where she was like in almost every like
from
horror slasher
Scary Movie. No, who's the girl from Scary Movie?
No, that's Anna Faris. No, the girl from
Faris. Yeah,
Anna Faris is from the Scary Movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, her. She
I always
off.
liked her, but I guess she's more comedy also.
Jennifer Love Hewitt was in the I Know What You Did Last Summer series.
I'm looking at her. I don't know. I don't recognize her.
That movie is famous for the scene where she's like
that
in the
must
middle
prove
of the
she's
street.
washed up right there.
It's famous for the I'm right here. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? In the middle of the street.
Oh gosh. Apparently she started off on Disney Channel too. That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of those actors did. Who's another one? Who's another one of those actors?
Is that a thing anymore? Like, have you seen the Disney Channel recently?
The last person I know from that is maybe like Zendaya. She started in Disney Channel. And then now
wasn't oh no, JoJo Siwa's Nickelodeon, right?
I don't care. I don't know.
You know what? I don't really care either. I just feel like there was a long time where it'd be like I guess my hipster side would be like, oh, JoJo Siwa, I don't know who the fuck that is, but
I still don't know.
Like
who
now
the fuck
she's
that
gotten
is.
to a point where I still don't really know anything about her, but she's famous enough that I don't know. I guess like it's pretty insane of a story.
All I've heard about her is that like people kind of like are a little bit weirded out by her because like her whole aesthetic is this very like tweeny little girl kind of aesthetic.
Yeah, but she's like 18 now
almost
or
18
older.
or she is like 19 now and she's still writing that.
Acting like a 12-year-old.
Yeah, and still writing that demographic, and that can be pretty problematic in its own ways. So it's kind of like that's pretty much all I know when it comes to JoJo Siwa, and that's all I want to know. You know.
I mean, we got the Paul brothers, or at least Jake Paul. I think he was on Disney Channel.
They were.
Yeah, dude. Jake Paul was on this show called Aardvark or something. It's not a very famous... I mean, no Disney Channel show is that famous anymore. Let's be real, but...
I feel like they're not famous
came
to
out of
us
that.
because, like, we're adults now.
Oh, that's true. Like, obviously, kids like it. I don't think that... Not anymore. Like, most kids that follow them probably don't even know he was on Disney.
I don't even have cable anymore, so of course I won't know what are the goings-ons with that kind of stuff.
He played the role of Dirk Man on the Disney series Bizaardvark for 2 seasons.
He seems like a Dirk Man. I feel like if I didn't know his name was
like
Jake Paul, I would think he would be Dirk Man.
You know, that is true. Whenever I see a picture, or if I saw him and I didn't know, I would be like, yeah, that guy looks like a Dirk.
For sure, dude.
Just a big old floppy Dirk.
Yeah. But, like, I don't know, dude. Some actors, like, there are some actors who got washed up just because they couldn't, keep up. And those are the ones I'm trying to stick to because it'd be a lot easier to talk about all the actors who got washed up because of their fucking behaviors. People like Emilio Estevez and Lindsay Lohan, where it's mostly...
What did Lindsay Lohan ever do,
Amanda
man?
Bynes. Oh, I don't know, man, I guess be a woman. I don't know. I wouldn't think of anything else. I don't think she's ever done like drug abuse or alcohol abuse or
drugs
being
What's a
shitty
drugs?
on set. It's definitely
Wait,
none of
shitting
that.
on set? Wait,
Being even though I wouldn't put it past her, I meant being shitty on set. But I wouldn't put it past her.
Chocolate milk.
Oh, who's another one? David Hasselhoff. But every once in a while, he just pops up out of nowhere just because he is David Hasselhoff. But he's definitely nowhere near as big as he used to be.
There's some celebrities, like you said, or just actors or whatever, that have ascended beyond like what they originally did. Where I feel like now they're just, even if like newer people, I guess because of their OG status, like they're just shoot into like random projects.
Yeah, but there's definitely those actors who just got pretty much excommunicated out of the acting community. People like Charlie Sheen and Chevy Chase, those kinds of people.
Damn.
But there's definitely those actors that's just like, I don't know, in some way they couldn't really keep up with the whole thing. And, And that's the thing when it comes to like the acting thing, where I'm just like, maybe, you know, it'd be cool, it'd be fun to be an actor. I think acting is fun, especially like comedic acting, but I've never ever seriously considered it because it's such a competitive field that requires so much luck.
Plus, I don't know, at least for me, I always was also interested. Like, the main things that I always was into was like animation or acting. Or like video production. I guess just anything in general that had to do with TV. I felt like that's what I was going to go into as a job. But
I've always been more serious about voice acting than actual acting. Now that you mention
I know
it.
that. You got some crazy little voices in
I
your
just
head.
have so much more fun doing that. It's just so fun. But, I mean, I could see you working in a lot of fields of production, actually, dude. In my opinion.
Yeah, but I guess because, like, in Puerto Rico, at least, I always felt like, at least acting, regular acting, or even voice acting, like, there's nothing there. There is opportunity, but you're never gonna, there's a certain ceiling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Know?
Oh, yeah. Very large ceiling. No, I only feel
and
like
even if you get super famous in Puerto Rico, I feel like it doesn't necessarily help you out in the
internationally,
the grander scheme.
Yeah. I feel like what
are all the most famous Puerto Rican actors? They're always on like those parody shows, I feel, right?
Yeah.
Like Club Sunshine and all that.
I mean, if you look at actual internationally famous Puerto Ricans, they're either singers, and if they are actors, it's because they started acting out there in the States. People like Benicio del Toro, Jennifer Lopez, you know, those kinds of people. Lin-Manuel Miranda. You know, he got famous off of Broadway, not here.
Yep.
You know, doing anything here just feels like a ceiling, and that's because we're colonized. But let's not talk about that.
I guess on top of that, well, no, yeah, that's definitely the main thing. But there's also like the population is not like
they're not interested
compared to reaching the whole international. Like what? How many Puerto Ricans are like watch TV? You know, maybe like. Well, I mean, most of them do, but obviously you're just not going to reach as many people if you're sticking to just the island, I guess.
It's more kind of just like how many people actually watch Puerto Rican programming that has anything to do with like acting. Like, even if you look at the soap operas, a lot of our soap operas come from like South America or Mexico, you know.
Dude, I think nowadays, like, a lot of them come from like the Bollywood side.
Yeah,
like, not just India, but
from Europe.
Like Turkey and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of the biggest ones right now is called like what's it called? It's essentially
Casa de Papel.
I do anything for my daughter, but in Spanish it's like haría lo que sea por mi hija or something like that. But it's like
Bro,
I think it's a
they're getting into
production.
some anime territories with their titles these days.
Yeah, and like that's like the biggest one right now. That's the one that everyone's watching, and it's not even Latin. I don't think. And it's kind of insane. It just goes to show that
is wild, man. Because yeah, even if you like try to go into acting in Spanish, like, because obviously if you did English, you're just automatically opening up to so much more potential. But if you're just going into Spanish acting, that whole market is being taken over now by like they just dub it, right? They're mostly dubbed.
Mostly. It's just like, I don't know. Even in WAPA, dude,
Well,
all the movies they show in WAPA are like really old 90s movies or like early 2000 movies that are just dubbed over. There's like no Puerto Rican productions, and even like movies that are made here and released into theaters, like no one gives a shit about them.
Yeah.
And so it's just like,
it feels bad.
There's nothing. There's literally nothing. If you ever want to make a name for yourself, you're not going to do it here. And it's sad, but you know, what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, if your dream really is to go into acting, then
don't do it here.
I mean, if you're just you're going to have to put the patriotism aside, I guess.
For sure, dude. I feel like internet stars here get bigger than actual like stars. Like, I don't know. So, honestly, for me, it's just like, if I was ever going to do anything like that, it definitely not going to be on in the homeland.
Yep. Well, all of that and more is why, as a kid, I think I did actually show some interest, specifically with the movie Home Alone. Like, Macaulay Culkin, dude, he actually, like, as a kid, I really was inspired. Like, I was like, wow, I want to be a kid actor like him.
I want to be Macaulay Culkin.
I think
I want to be a little white
my
boy.
mom, like, tried to look around for me, and, like, literally the only thing, I mean, you have to start somewhere, right? But, like, all she would find was, like, local commercials for, like,
don't tell me
some
you were
shit
in some kind
that's
of
gonna be on, like,
commercial
PBS.
or something that I don't know about.
Okay, I never made it past the auditions, all right?
Okay.
But
Damn, you're already washed up. That's unfortunate.
Yep. I was washed up from the start, man.
Oh, no. Little Munch Boy's career. But, hey, at least you made it in the YouTube game. I guess
it ended before it got too embarrassing.
It would be fucking hilarious if you just have this, like, this historied past and doing, like, kids commercials. I mean, that's how Leonardo
I just always
DiCaprio
wonder
started.
If there's... Wait, what happened?
That's how
DiCaprio?
Leonardo DiCaprio started, like, doing commercials.
Was he a child actor, too?
Well, yeah, he was like there was this one movie where he plays like a disabled kid, but I don't remember what it's called. And even before that, he was doing like commercials.
Honestly, yeah, the oldest thing I remember him being is Titanic, and he was pretty young in that.
He started before that. Obviously,
I'm sure he did, because that was like his breakout role.
Oh yeah, Titanic definitely was the role that got him into the big leagues. Into the big leagues. Let's see. Leonardo DiCaprio commercials.
I always wonder though, like, what if there was that alternate timeline where, like, I don't know, somehow my family was in LA, or like we moved there or something, if I would have maybe actually kept going with that.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe.
Because like I said, I don't know, I always felt like I was meant to do something in production. Like, even if I ended up being a cameraman or something, that sounds, even right now, that sounds pretty fun to me, because you'd still get to be a part of something bigger.
It's your calling, man. It's what you're meant to do. Oh yeah, he was in a late 80s Bubble Yum commercial. That's where Leonardo DiCaprio made his debut. Bubble Yum. I have no idea what the fuck it is. It might be a bubble gum, I'd imagine.
If it ain't Hubba Bubba, I got no idea, dude.
If it ain't Hubba Bubba, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to.
I don't
want to bubba if it ain't Hubba Bubba. All right. I don't want to see your lips bubba if it ain't Hubba Bubba.
But then there's like a lot of actors that start out really late too. Like most of the ones we were talking about earlier, I think got their start.
Started when he was like 30, almost 40. You know, there's a lot of actors. Yeah. I mean, Alan Rickman. Big old Alan Rickman, I think, started when he was like in his 40s. His first movie was Die Hard.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe you don't, like, at that point you would be, you know, you'd only be able to play certain characters. But if you're really good at acting those characters, then yeah, it doesn't really matter how old you are.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I just guess I never, like, seriously went after it just because of the nature of how competitive it is. The same thing happened with singing. My family always had this notion that I would become a singer or something because I have a decent singing voice, but I never really seriously followed it because even as a kid, I was just like, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like a gamble. And I've never been like a gambler kind. I don't like the idea.
Bro, there's no way as a little kid you were thinking, oh, singing, that's too much of a risk. I don't want.
I did. I'm serious, dude. That's the same reason why I never even considered acting either, even though I enjoyed doing it. I was just like, I don't know. That feels like kind of a gamble, like a pretty competitive field. I don't know. Even as a little kid, I was just like, I don't know. I don't feel like. I mean, if it was that easy, anybody could be an actor, you know? That's what I was, like, rationalizing. Or anybody could be a singer. I just feel like it wasn't really a possibility in my mind.
Seems like nowadays that really is true, though.
Yeah. Well, kind of, yeah. Especially with the internet and all that shit. But even then, sometimes, you know, you'd see, like, these really talented people who get absolutely no attention. And then comes this one dumbass and does this one dumbass thing. And now he's the biggest thing in the world.
Bro, that's literally the music industry in a nutshell.
That's the internet in a nutshell, too. I mean, look at the fucking Paul brothers, for example. So many talented YouTubers and content creators out there, and then...
That's the thing, is you can always think of it like... Maybe more recently I can relate to this, you know, since my channel is not doing like it used to, but people have to defend me have been saying the Munch isn't washed up. He's just underrated. Which is a good way to look at it, because I still feel like I'm putting out good content, and just because less people are watching it doesn't mean it's bad, you know?
Yeah. It's just like the algorithm changes, people interests change. Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
So you could honestly, it could happen with anything. Acting, singing, you could be like an amazing whatever and not get noticed.
Yeah, because the algorithms change, people's interests change, and it's kind of hard to adapt to the change because there's no set.
I just think
statistic.
in everything, in every field, there's always like an ounce of RNG involved.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I'm the funniest person in all of the internet, but you don't see me breaking out as a hit star. You know, I got all the funnies. I have the whole formula to how to be funny. You know, I say bruh a lot. I say my name's Jeff. You know, Baba Booey. You know, I got it all. But you don't see me breaking out, you know?
I haven't seen you break out since high school when you had that terrible acne problem.
No, I didn't. I've been literally perfectly flawless since forever. What are you talking about? All jokes aside, I've been fortunate enough to never had like acne problems ever. Like I rarely ever break out in my face. Rarely. Yeah, I only ever get like a bad pimple or anything like that on my face maybe like once or twice a year, I could say, sincerely.
I feel like my shit was pretty bad at one point, but it wasn't like extreme. Like I know some people that, it's just like, it can actually be like cause other problems.
Oh yeah, like dermatitis and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I feel bad for those people, man, because there are legitimately some people who you would say are like incredibly quote unquote conventionally attractive, where they're just like, where you just like, honestly, if there was a way to just clear up your face, you'd be like a goddess. And I feel like that's just like a curse on their family line. I like to consider that someone in their family did something completely horrible, and then it just bled down to them.
They did like they did a deal with the devil for beauty.
They're like cursed, you know?
Yeah.
That's so
it's
mean.
Like, I want my family to be blessed with generational beauty. And it's like a quirk where it has a like downside.
A monkey's paw. Yeah. Bringing back the monkey's paw. That's so mean.
Okay, yeah, let's just, let's wrap up the acting thing. I was actually talking about, or I brought up JoJo Siwa, and you said it was weird how, like, she's a 16 or whatever, 18-year-old pretending to be a 12-year-old. Recently, I saw another example of this.
Uh-oh.
In Dora, the City of Lost Gold.
Oh, yeah, you were, like, showing me that. Like, that you were watching that.
Yeah, so it recently came out, I think, on Hulu.
Yeah.
And... okay, well, disclaimer. We may not have been in a clear state of mind at the time when we watched it.
You were stoned.
And I don't think I would have been able to watch the movie if it wasn't for that. Because it feels like it's like a Nickelodeon movie written by like Judd Apatow. You know, the dude that does like all those like stoner movies?
Really?
Like Freaks and Geeks and like Forgetting Sarah Marshall and all that.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like the vibe of it, maybe not the jokes, they're not that like dirty or adult, but the vibe of it very much felt like a stoner parody movie. Which was honestly hilarious because like we've all seen Dora. Yeah, we've all seen Dora growing up. We know like the tropes and like the cliches, and like they hit all of those, and they like make fun of it in a way that it is cringe, but it's like a good kind of cringe, you know?
I don't think there exists a thing such as a good cringe, my friend.
What do you mean, dude? Cringe can be the most
cringe,
powerful
homie.
form of humor.
Cringe is just cringe, man. It's kind of like murder, you know? Yeah, there's different kinds of murder, but it's all bad.
If you guys haven't checked it out, grab yourself, some chocolate milk. Check out Dora.
Just grab your chalky milk and some celery sticks, country celery sticks.
And let me know. Let us know your review down in the comments.
Oh, I don't think any of them are going to be in any form good.
To be honest, I don't know if I would have been able to finish the movie if I wasn't like completely
Stoned
gone.
out of your mind.
I don't know. There was just some parts where it was so incredibly bizarre that you're just left there like, did that really just happen?
I mean,
whereas if I wasn't in that mindset, I probably would just be like, what the fuck is this trash? Like,
isn't Boots like voiced by Danny Trejo or some shit?
Yeah, Boots is Benicio del Toro actually.
Wait, Benicio del Toro? I thought it was Danny Trejo.
Or maybe he's Swiper. Well, he's one of them.
Maybe Swiper is Benicio del Toro. Let me see. I gotta find this.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who's Boots?
They're both very deep voices.
Yeah,
Danny Trejo is Boots. Oh my god.
And Benicio del Toro is Swiper the Fox.
That's freaking hilarious.
Dude? How the fuck did they get Benicio del Toro to be like, yeah, sure, I'll play fucking Swiper?
That's what I'm saying. I think because legit, they might have. I don't know if they showed him clips of the movie or what. Like, maybe they had a little reel, like, to sell him. Like, yeah, this movie's actually funny or something. I don't know.
Or maybe they just gave him a lot of fucking money. But it's so weird. This guy likes like Academy acclaimed actor Benicio del Toro's over here playing fucking Swiper the Fox in the Dora the Explorer.
I think that adds to the absurdist humor to it, though. Like, I know that that's not necessarily on purpose. Like, it's an actor. It's kind of a fourth wall breaking thing. But, like, it does add to the absurdity of the movie when you hear Boots talk for the first time, and it's like
hey,
this super
man,
deep, like
you gotta get that fucking gold, Dora.
Well, okay, he didn't go full Danny Trejo for it.
I'm fucking machete, man.
Like, imagine Danny Trejo trying to be Morgan Freeman. That's what it was like.
And then you have Benicio del Toro with his fucking deep ass imposing voice. Like, they're like, Swiper, no swiping. He's like, oh man. Oh fuck.
And then there's this one scene that I won't spoil too much, but it's the one that originally made me want to watch it. There's this one scene where, I shit you not, Dora and Diego are walking through the jungle and they find a field of giant mushrooms.
And they find a bunch of Pizzagate carvings. This is how Epstein got exposed. It was actually Dora who tipped off the feds.
Oh no.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, what'd you say? I completely fucking lost my train of thought.
No, just watch the movie. You're gonna want to wait till the mushroom scene.
God damn it.
Trust me,
don't tell me they trip out on mushrooms.
You will not regret watching the Dora movie if you manage to get to that scene.
I'm gonna have to.
You can stop watching after that. Honestly, just the beginning's a little slow, but if you make it to the mushroom scene, I promise you won't regret having watched Dora the movie.
I'm gonna have to get my own kind of eddies for that kind of shit, dude. I can't watch that sober in any way, shape, or form.
It's pretty much unless you have kids, it's impossible.
Well, like my ex-wife never brought them back after that last alimony check that I didn't send. No. I don't think that's gonna be a possibility. But I'll definitely get stoned out of my mind and watch it. I can't believe what convinced you to even watch that movie.
We were literally just. I think we were supposed to watch something else, but then it wouldn't play or something happened to it. Or no, yeah, we were gonna watch the Harry Potter movies. We're gonna start watching those, but they weren't on Netflix or Hulu or anything.
Don't do
that. So then, Dora was the next best thing, obviously.
Talking about the Harry Potter movies, man, I can't rewatch those. And it's not even because of the recent stuff that has been happening with J.K. Rowling, because I'm pretty good at separating the art from the artist.
I don't even get that whole shit. I mean, maybe I just haven't really read into it too much.
And she's a bitch, but whatever.
I know she's been saying a lot of ignorant shit on Twitter, but I feel like she's kind of just baiting people.
Yeah, but she's she's openly like transphobic. Like she's already openly expressed how she doesn't consider trans women. So, fuck her. But it's not even that. Damn. It's just kind of just like, I feel like a lot of people have like really good nostalgia over those movies, but most of them aren't very good. The first movie is very hard to watch. It's very hard to get through because it's very much a kid's movie. A lot of the acting is bad, mostly because they're all kids.
I don't know. That's what makes sometimes movies kind of charming to me, though.
Okay, give it a shot, then come back to me. The second one...
we're going to watch it tonight. I'll let you know.
The second one is the same. It's in the same vein. They're still very young. They're still very inexperienced, and
My favorite one always was the one with Robert Pattinson.
The Goblet of Fire with Pattinson.
Yeah.
That one's one of the good ones. My favorite one is the third
Because
one.
it feels very video gamey to me, and that's why I like it.
For me, my favorite is the third one. The third one for me is
that's the one that I know the least about for some reason.
It is the least Harry Potter out of all the Harry Potter movies. Well, I can't even say that.
That's probably why you like it then,
I can't even say that because it's not even that. I feel like the least Harry Potter is the eight part
Prince.
one, like the part one of the last film, because they separated the last book in two parts. The first part of it is like awful. Like, I feel like it's completely irredeemable. But the third one is just like, it still keeps that magic and mysticism that is Harry Potter and all that stuff. But the story is very, like, it's less about the magic and the wonder. Literally, the story is like a murder mystery. And like it feels like a noir film. It feels like they're all trying to get like this wanted fugitive, trying to figure out who really killed like Harry's parents and who tipped them off to Voldemort and all this stuff, and like what happened to Peter Pettigrew and a whole bunch of stuff. It's literally a murder mystery. So it's like the most kind of just like the least like, as I would say, like immature one, quote unquote. I don't want to use that word, but it's the only one I could think of. Mm-hmm. It's like the least one that seems oriented towards children, especially
I feel
after
like that,
the first two being
also like in the series in general, you kind of see the progression of the actors, where like at first they were very amateur, like I mean not amateur, but they were kids. It was like their first big gig, and then maybe towards the third one they kind of started coming into it and really owning it.
Yeah,
but then like. They do good all throughout it, but I feel like towards the end, some of the actors you can kind of tell they're just like, Jesus Christ, can this shit be over?
Yeah,
already?
for me that started in the fifth one, Order of the Phoenix. I find Order of the Phoenix to be pretty boring and a little bit too long.
Yeah, I forgot the title of that one, to be honest. I was trying to think, like Goblet of Fire, Half-Blood Prince. I could not remember that one.
Yeah, Order of the Phoenix I found to be. It was a little boring at some parts, but it was still decent. And then Half-Blood Prince.
Is there anything memorable about that one? Because I feel like every movie has something that you...
the
fight, the third one...
Order of the Phoenix was the fight between like Voldemort and Dumbledore.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Damn, I don't even remember it then.
Where like Voldemort brings out like this fire snake and a whole bunch of fucking epic shit.
Jeez.
That's the one where like finally the Ministry of Magic has to admit that Voldemort's back. And like they go through like that's the one where fucking spoilers, Sirius Black dies.
Who?
Harry's god uncle.
Who?
The Godfather. That
Harry's a god?
the one from 3, from Prisoner of
Azkaban. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Well, he turns into a wolf, right?
Yeah, he's a animagus.
Well, not the wolf. Not the wolf teacher, the werewolf teacher.
Not the werewolf. He's an animagus. Like, he could turn into a dog at will. Yeah.
Like, I actually, you know a lot more than I thought you would, considering you started this whole segment off with, fuck Harry Potter.
No, well, not fuck Harry Potter. It's like, it's alright, but I feel like it's definitely in that vein of just, like, rose-tinted glasses. Everybody has really heavy nostalgia about it, and when you go back to watch them, like, they're still good, and there's still a lot of good things about them, but they're nowhere near as good as you probably remember them. And it's like, and especially like the first two, I feel like the third one's the best, hands down, out of all of them. Fourth one's good.
Really? I'll let you know, man, because we're gonna start it tonight probably. And for me, the first two are the most memorable, but then the fourth was my favorite. And for some reason, like, my memory as a kid kind of blocked out 3. Aside from, like, the ending with the werewolf and, like, the hippogriff and all that.
Well, then I'm very looking forward to see, like, your reaction of it.
And then 5, 6, I don't remember at all. And then, obviously, the ending, like, I mean, yeah.
It's just, like, Order of the Phoenix was very, like, kind of, like, search for the MacGuffins kind of movie.
Mm-hmm. It felt like, compared to the first few movies where, like, specifically the first 2 were very much kids movies, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like, the third one, you could tell they started going more mature, but then by the 5th one, I felt that it got too mature and it just got boring.
The 5th one was just kind of just like teens
Maybe,
rise
mature is not
kinda.
the right word, but
it was like the 5th one was very like teens rise up, and then like it was pretty boring throughout the first like stretch, And then towards the end is when it gets really exciting. And then Half-Blood Prince was just, oh, God, I don't like it. It's such a snooze fest, and it's so melodramatic. And it feels like it just wastes a lot of time and drags on for way too long. And it's not till the end until anything actually substantial or interesting happens. And
that's what I mean. Like maybe 5, I don't remember that well, but those last few leading up to like the final fight, it just felt like that. Like they were just building up, but nothing would really happen until that.
And then when 7 and 8 came out, part 1 of the last one, which I don't even remember what the last one is called, the Deathly Hallows, I think it is.
Deathly Hallows.
Part 1 of Deathly Hallows is, in my opinion, the worst one out of all of them.
Damn.
It's fucking boring, dude. It's literally just watching these 3 idiots go camping for a while. And it's just like, it's all about Ron being a fucking jealous little toxic bitch boy, and Harry just being a little bit too up his own ass, and then Hermione not being able to do shit about it, you know, and having to deal with these 2 fucking like idiots.
Yeah.
And it's so boring, so fucking boring. And then they killed Dobby, which was the only time where I was in the film where I actually
Dobby.
I was like, thank God something happened, you know. They had to kill Dobby for it, dude? But I was sad. I was just like, why couldn't they kill Ron instead? But nah.
That's a fucking spoiler, man. What the hell?
What do you mean? How did you not know that they fucking murdered Dobby?
I actually did. I don't know. I forgot.
he dies in such an unremarkable way, dude. It's so dumb. But I would have preferred they killed the ginger. Not because he's a ginger.
Does he choke on a sock or something?
I mean, I don't know. They just like throw a knife.
That would have been pretty satisfying. You know that one spell where like, I think it was Ron makes Draco Malfoy eat slugs?
No, he makes himself eat slugs because he's an idiot who broke his wand and still tried to use it.
Well, you know, the gist is there. So what if instead they made it so
he
Dobby
starts choking on socks?
Choked on socks.
Oh, Christ. Well, no. His death was a lot more remarkable. But yeah, Deathly Hallows Part 1 is just like, I hate it. It's the only one I can't go back and rewatch. I just skip it because for me, just nothing happens in it. And then the last one was good. Except the ending was a little weird. Like the whole, like, them being old and all that stuff and showing all their kids just felt a little strange. The way it was shot and composed was just like weird. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. But my favorite one's definitely 3. But you know, I'll wait to see what your criticism is. Good old Ariel Ebert, what his professional criticism.
Harry Potter review.
Harry Potter reviews. You still have to watch The Boys.
Oh yeah, that too.
You've let me down. I'm disappointed in you. I'll never forgive you.
Okay, I got into JoJo again, so this might be a problem.
You son of a bitch, God. You're the worst. I'll never recommend anything to you ever again.
I just finally saw the Duwang episode.
Oh,
amazing.
What a beautiful Duwang. Iconic JoJo meme. Everyone would say.
Next time, ranking all the Harry Potter movies and also ranking all the JoJo parts.
Oh, God, that would be entertaining. Honestly, that's probably what will happen in the next podcast. Just like...
Yeah, I feel like that could be, like, not even a podcast, but, like, if we had, like, one of... You know how usually podcasts that are, like, really big, they have, like, the podcast and then the highlights channel?
Yeah.
That could totally be a clip, like, just ranking the JoJo movies.
Okay.
Or parts, I mean.
Ranking the JoJo farts.
I mean, we could still do that. We'll just make it part of the next podcast.
We'll put the webcams. We'll dress up as wizards.
Yeah, exactly. We can do the regular podcast, but then we'll have like a segment in it that we can also like make its own video.
All right.
But I have to finish up to part 5 first, which might take a little bit. So.
Oh God, no! And at the rate that you watch stuff, God, I don't want to imagine. So
yeah,
no promises from my part, at least.
Okay, look, if I can commit to watching at least 1 to 2 episodes a day, I'll at least get to part 5 by next week.
Wait, are you talking about JoJo or Harry Potter?
JoJo.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Harry Potter.
Harry Potter's different. Well, that one, I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
But wait, you're going to start from part 1 all over again?
No. We're watching Harry Potter from part 1. JoJo, I'm on part 4.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that I'll make it to part 5 by next week, probably, if I start watching
All right. But
one or two episodes a day.
The rating all the Harry Potter films is gonna come first. That's definitely
So
gonna come first.
yeah, stay tuned for that. I have to take a massive dump, so
I could hear it in the tone of your voice, honestly, sincerely. So this is gonna be the end.
The last 10 minutes of this have been just me like, shit. Should I tell him to pause or like?
No,
should I
we're
just
already,
hold
we're
it out
already
to
at
the
the
hour?
end, so might as well go fucking drop a deuce. I gotta go buy some stuff in the grocery store anyway, so this would be a good spot to end it.
All right.
We'll
Thank
see
you
you
guys
next
for
time,
watching.
my little wanky
Stay
wizards.
tuned for my acting debut coming soon
Get
in
ready
Dora
for it.
2.
It's gonna happen.
Return to the Cardi B's boobs.
Oh, that's true. The milky chocolate milk breasty titty fucking fat tissue fucking fuck.
Also, Cardi B, my DMs are open.